All right, sit. We always have her sit at gateways, curbs, all boundaries, doorways. This is a very important gateway for her because it goes out onto the street. Okay. And she always gets really excited when we're going out on the street in public because there's so much going on out here, of course. And so I always start the walk this way. I have her wait at my doorway as well and do the same thing. Sit. Another boundary, the curb. And if you start your walk this way, you already saw us sit and wait at the gateway, and we waited at the front door as well. Then we came to the gateway, and now we're at the curb, doing a little sit stay. Okay, we're gonna cross the street. She's still not free yet, but it's just been about 2 minutes since we started on the inside of my front door. And then one last time here, sit. And I'm just applying a little bit of pressure because there's some things going on behind us or behind the camera that distracted her. Go. And then so if you do that, so you have her stop at all the boundaries before you get to the sidewalk. And I added crossing the street here as well until she's free. You get to start the walk like this where she's calm. And she's extra super calm now because for the last 3.5 weeks since she's been doing this, like every day we do it this way. And what happens if you do it the same way every day she calms down quicker. And you see that she'll start her walk very quickly, calmly like this. And whereas before, when I first started doing this, it took a lot longer to calm her down. And now you can start your walk and she's free to sniff and pee or whatever she wants to do. Just make sure that you keep this leash loose. Don't let her pull you around. You can either tap, like if she's pulling, you can tap the leash to keep it loose, or call her to come. Good girl. If she's getting sit out of control on the leash. Okay. Sit. We are navigating a very busy area here, but this is good for her practicing. There's a dog. Go to your left and just show the little dog there. I just wanted to show you that she can actually do a sit-stay in public with all these distractions and people walking around and all that kind of stuff. We're out here with a lot of activity around us. There's a little barking dog going past in the cart there. People walking past. Just to show you she can do a sit-stay in public with a lot of distractions. And of course it took a long time to get her to be able to do this. She deserves a reward for this. Good. Whenever you reward her when you're having your sit, just make sure that you reward her straight down. Don't do like this. Make sure that you get some eye contact and see, good, just like that. She's looking up at you, she gets a reward as you're literally staring at her and she's staring in your eyes. It helps having that eye contact when you give her a reward. It's a subtle thing, but it does matter. And we're just practicing her staying in a sit-stay as people walk past and carts go past. So this is a great exercise to do with her because we're testing her focus, her level of focus, and it's getting pretty good. And the byproduct of having this level of calmness in the presence of all these distractions is that she's a lot calmer 24/7 even when she's not training. So to release her to be free, you pat her chest and say go, or if I was going to have her walk with me, and I'll do that right now, I'd say okay, and she walks with me. Okay. Down. We never repeat the command. We only do it once. Say it once. Never repeat the command. And of course, you're not doing any training off leash. She's not off leash trained yet. So you need to always practice with the leash to make sure that especially if you're in a very stressful, target-rich environment, distraction-rich environment like this, you can always reinforce that down by just doing this as you say down to make sure she goes there. The pattern is for her that she hears it once and she ends up going there. So handling her the way that I'm handling her now and never repeating a command and using the leash to gently but firmly reinforce the command is the way that you get to off leash eventually. She pops up like that, I'm making it really hard for her. You say no. Reset her. Just do that little circle there. Gently but firmly, you just do that. Your left foot raises up, and I barely touched her leash and she went back. She knows how to do this now. It's just a matter of can she handle the distraction, whatever is happening at the moment. Some things she's still having a problem, being focused around and staying in a downstay. So if she pops up now, it just means that she couldn't handle it, and we'll work on that. Good. She's doing really well with all these people walking past and all these distractions, all the noises, all the carts. So you saw what to do if she does pop up, if she makes a mistake. The way to release her is to, there's another one, no. You don't always have to turn into her. Like if you're about to release her like that and she gets anticipatory and she pops up right before you release her, you can just do that. Make sure she's waiting until, nope. And I think that was that cart coming right towards us, kind of spooked her. Stand next to her, pat your leg. Okay, sit. Make sure you always release her from a calm sit stay. Go, and she's free. Okay, let's go. Okay, sit. Oh, Poppy's very excited. She loves doing these greeting routines. So I had her sit, stepped away from her over to the person that she's greeting, gave him a treat to give her so that she doesn't jump, because she had this jumping issue when she came here. Go. He's down there petting her. She's eating a treat. I say, come. Good. There's something on this end too to give her down. Everything's down on ground level. There's no reason for her to jump anymore. There's the treat down there. She gets petted. If you're sending over to somebody sit that allows her to jump on them, or they can't help it and she jumps on them, then you always have your come command. If they're in trouble over there, you just call her back to come to you, because she's got a great recall. So you see I'm stepping away, stepping back. With my right hand, I'm going to pat her chest and say, and I'm keeping this leash loose, okay? So this is loose. You're never restraining her on tight leash, because that'll cause more excitement. So it's always loose. Pat her chest with your seat. But if she does try to pop up before you release her, it's just a tap and she goes back. So with your right hand, pat her chest and say, go say hi. She goes over there, she gets a treat, gets petted. Come! Call her back to come to you. Good girl. And step into her. You can also add a little left circle, sit, before you have her sit. And then to make this exercise a little bit harder for her, do a little sit stay first. If she collapses like that, no. Okay. Say no, gently but firmly put her back, and make sure that she does it your way. And if you have to reset her even a few times, you just keep on resetting her and she will give in and do it your way. Luckily this time it just took one time to reset her, and then she did it my way. I did a little walk around sit stay, and now go say hi. One last time. Come. Good. And you see we don't have any kind of jumping issue anymore. We do this exercise every day here, done with a lot of different people, and she knows exactly how it goes. And you get to practice your little sit stays and go commands, release commands, come commands, and in a real life situation, greeting somebody, whether they're a new person or somebody she really likes. She's going to be excited really with anybody, and so it's a great way to teach her not to jump. And of course, you know that and you can tell your guests or your friends that if she does jump, stop petting her and say no and back away. And it's so much better than pushing her down or kneeing her or telling her to off or whatever, down, whatever people would say. You just show her that she's getting all the attention when she stays on all fours and she doesn't jump. As soon as she starts to jump or act inappropriate, nope, it all ends. So if they do that, and then you also call her away from them, that's a great way to continue this process of teaching her never to jump again, hopefully. Okay. Sit. We always have her sit before we send her in a crate. And of course, the crate is not kept out in the yard, so this is the first time I've ever sent her into the crate when it's here. It's not even her crate. So she goes in. Let's pretend that I'm you and we're back at your place and I'm not there anymore because I've delivered her to you. What may happen, and what often happens, is the dogs don't want to go in for their owners, so I would recommend the first couple of days that you put her in the crate, do it the same way I'm doing it, have her sit, open the door, have a piece of chicken or something like that, and pat her chest and say go and toss it in, and she'll follow it in. And I knew there'd be a little bit of hesitancy with her going in because, good girl, because she's not used to going in a crate out here, and that's usually the way it is. So I'm going to take her out and I'm going to have her go in again. Okay. Sit. Go. She goes in. She turns around. She gets another little treat. I'm going to take off her training collar. We always take off and put on her training collar in the crate. If you don't do it in the crate, she's going to get excited when you're going to go on a walk or when you want to train her, and she's going to jump all over the place and she's going to maybe fall down on her back and roll around. It's just going to be a big ordeal to put this on her. So from day one, I've always taught her to just stand there and wait in the crate when I put the stuff on, and then she comes out, and it really keeps her calm. And also taking it off, you see how calm she is in there. When you take off this little prong collar, just hang it on the door like this. This choke chain is only for when you go out in public. It's not for training. This could be really dangerous if you use the choke chain for training because there's no safety on it. If you pull on it, it's going to choke her right there. The reason for using this is that we have the leash double up on the training collar, the little prong collar, and the choke chain at the same time. If the prong collar ever happens to come loose, which it will sometimes, then the choke chain comes into play and you don't lose the dog. So that would come into play like that. And so it's only for safety, and it's hanging loose all the time. It's just attached to the leash as well. So this little prong collar is, it may look scary. It's a very small one. It's the only size I use, actually. I use this on the giant dogs as well because it's not about correcting. It doesn't cause pain. It's all about this continuous control. It's like it's even control all the way around their neck. The same pressure on the back as on the front when you do little taps, and you see it throughout the video. I'm never struggling and restraining her. I'm just doing little taps, and she's responding. It's very little work on your part. It's like power steering on your dog if you use one of these. And they're fit to the size of each dog's neck. You either add a link or you take out a link. These are links here. So when she grows some more, you just add another link. And it needs to be lightly touching all the way around. Not tight and also not super loose. If it's hanging down, if it's loose, every time that you use it, it's going to go like that. So you just want it fitted, lightly touching all the way around. That's the way it works best. So the crate routine at my house is that she's in and out of the crate all day long, lots of times outside, lots of free time, sleeping in the crate overnight, eating her meals in the crate. So she's in her crate, we bring the food to her, open up the door, give her the bowl in there. She gets bones and chewies, everything good happens in the crate. She loves the crate. And of course, we make it really comfortable for her. Blankets, towels, whatever you want to put in there. That's her den. Dogs are naturally den animals, so we developed that as her den. So you have a way to manage her when you have people at your house that maybe don't like dogs, or if she has, she's getting out of hand, you can put her in a crate in the other room, give her a favorite bone, and she's happy in there until your guests leave. You can travel with her in the crate, you can fly her in the crate if you need to. So we've done this whole crate routine every day so that you have this option as well to manage her if you have to. And it also adds to the training because it's another boundary, just like all the other boundaries that we control in her life, the doorways and the curbs and the gateways. We're definitely going to control the boundary to her den, and if you're controlling the boundary to her den, then in her mind you must be in charge. So that's why we use the crate in this way. So you saw the way I put her in. She waits for me to allow her to go in. This door is always closed. At your house, it's closed when she's in and it's closed when she's out, because your greatest power with the crate is that you control her access in and out. So never leave the door open. And this becomes a privilege for her to go in, since all good things happen in there. You saw me give her a treat right before I close the door. And when I go to take her out, another treat, first thing we do, a little treat there. We're already hooked up to the leash. I'm just gonna reach in there and hook her up, put on that prong collar. She's hooked up. If she tries to come out before you allow her out, just take the door and just do a little slight little kind of bounces like that. Say no. Make sure she waits until you allow her to come out. See, she's waiting. Okay. And then make sure you close the door, because if you don't, you're going to forget, leave it open, and later on she'll run back in there and you're squandering your greatest power of controlling her access in and out of her den. So that's the way we use the crate. I'd say every day she goes in and out of the crate at least 6 times a day. And it's really helped her be calmer, because it's 6 more sit stays going in and 6 times waiting to be released through the boundary. It's just really good for her. And then of course she comes out of the crate. This is in the house. She walks through the house on the leash. We have her sit at the doorway, do the whole doorway thing, the boundary training. She comes out and we release her to be free in the yard. Just like we're practicing in your house. Same thing. Okay.